Hello, hello, my friendskis. How are you? I hope you're doing great. Listen, we're gonna talk today about your inner hero. I hope you're ready because I got some good questions for you. First of all, let me introduce myself. Just in case this is the very first episode you're listening, my name is Ewelina. I am a life coach for immigrants. I'm originally from Poland. I have been a first-generation immigrant for 17 years now. I have immigrated from Poland to the US. And now I live in Florida and I love it! Love it so much. The weather is amazing, you guys. I'm so happy. So happy in the sunshine. Love it so much. All right, so today we're going to talk about your inner hero. And the very, very first question that I have for you is this. Do you remember when you first moved to this country you're living in now? Who would forget, right? Who would forget these moments? It was stressful. I know. It was so much stress. Everything was unfamiliar, right? And you had to find strength where you didn't think there was any. You had to be resilient and determined. And my question for you is this. Are you still that person today? Or did things change because you have settled? You got familiar with how life is, and that inner hero that had to emerge when times were tough kinda went to sleep now. I want you to consider not letting him or her fall asleep completely. I want you to kinda consider nudging her a little bit or him a little bit, waking that hero up. The toughest moments showed you your deepest strength. And if you are a first-generation immigrant, you had so many tough moments. Am I right or what? I know you had. All of us have so many tough moments. Here's the truth. There are many people out there living calm, not challenging lives who will never touch that strongest part of themselves. But you did it. You did it. You, my dear, have met your inner hero already. And today, I want you to consider two things. First of all, I want you to acknowledge the effort your inner hero put into your survival. What about that? How about acknowledging that? I think that would be powerful. And the second piece is waking that inner hero up again, challenging yourself so that you keep on growing, you keep on changing and creating even better life experience for yourself. So that all that effort, all that struggle, all that stress, all of that continues on bringing forth incredibly amazing life. The life that you have came here to create. The life that you've been dreaming about. Not the life that you have settled for. Because we are so good at settling. And I'll explain you in a moment why we are so good at settling. But before we get there, let's first start with the acknowledgement. And for this, you're going to need a piece of paper and something to write with. I'm going to ask you questions. So you can do this as you're listening, if that is a possibility for you. If you're driving, come back to it later. But the very first question that I have for you is this. What were the toughest situations that you have faced as an immigrant? Some things will immediately come to your mind, right? There are some things that were super, super tough. Maybe it was not knowing exactly what you were getting yourself into, right? All of the unknown that you had to face, that constant fear, the stress of not knowing if you will be able to face whatever challenge was thrown at you. Or maybe it was loneliness. Or knowing that you can't possibly explain what you are feeling and going through to people around you if they were not immigrants as well, right? And they were not going through the same experience. The thing that makes it even worse is that we have the same sense when we think of the loved ones we left behind. We feel this incredibly overwhelming sense of disconnect from the people we left behind because they too would not understand what you're going through because they have never been through what you're going through. They don't even understand this new life you're living and the new place you're at. None of it. They just don't get it because they have not been there with you. It's almost like you're moving into a different planet. So explaining to them not only what you're going through would be totally, completely exhausting. And at the end of the day, you probably felt like I did. Where I was like, what's even the point? To talk about my struggles so that, my parents or my friends would feel bad for me and would feel bad that they can't help me? That's not helpful, right? For anyone. So maybe that was the piece that was tough for you as well. Or maybe the biggest problem for you was just this overall frustration, not being able to stand up for yourself, express yourself, share your opinions and wisdom, and handle the situations at hand how you would if you were in your country of origin. So that's the first question, yeah? What were the toughest moments that you have faced as an immigrant? Now, the next question is this. What were the feelings that you most often felt in the toughest moments, the toughest times? Was it maybe fear mixed with courage? Or was it self-doubt, loneliness, frustration? And then the next question is, how did you survive it? What were you doing specifically? So, whatever situation it is that you have faced, how did you go about surviving that situation? What did you do? The next question is, what were the qualities that you had to find within yourself to survive it, right? So maybe it was learning to believe in yourself when no one else did. Or maybe it was developing that inner strength and wisdom and courage and self-confidence and being open to learning new lessons. Maybe you had to become humble. Now, the next question to ask yourself is this. If you could go back in time and say a few words to yourself back then, when it was so difficult, what would it be? What would you say? Maybe you would tell your inner hero something like, thank you for working so hard. Thank you for never giving up. I am so proud of you and I love you so much. Thank you for giving me this life. Your stress, your fighting gave me the life I have today. And I am so thankful to you. You have no idea how amazing our life will be. This is really worth the fight. Keep on going. You've got this. Take a moment and think about this. If you could go back and talk to that person that was working so hard, struggling so hard, what would you say? How would you encourage him or her to keep on going? How would you explain what were the benefits that you are reaping today of their fight, of their struggle? How amazing it all turned out. How much better it is on this side of things, where things are more comfortable and not so stressful. Do you see this now? Do you see how the struggles that you have faced have developed your inner hero? You were in so many situations that stimulated deep fear, yet you have faced them. You've survived it all. You've survived. You have proven to yourself that you can. And here I have the best news for you. Listen, facing your fear is the most beautiful gift you can give to yourself. Because facing your fear is the name of the game. This is how we grow as human beings. Now let me explain something really, really quickly so that you will understand what you really have done. Most of us don't understand how big this is. You have a part of your brain, it's your lower brain, that is very, very active. And the job of that part of your brain is to keep you surviving in this reality. Which to do that part of your brain is working really hard, it's very energized, and what it's doing is it's scanning your reality for threat at 5 cycles per second. So this is happening very, very, very fast. The only job that this part of the brain has is to keep you surviving, keep you comfortable, and to preserve energy. Because it has this job, it will do whatever it can to prevent you from changing and growing, because change and growth means facing unknown. It means that you will be going after things you have not gone after before, and you will be going into situations and places you have not been before, which could mean death. So this part of the brain will be doing everything to keep you surviving and not growing, and it will challenge you every time that you want to make a positive change, that you want to change something. That's the part of the brain that will give you the worst case scenarios. It's the drama queen, okay? That's the one that will tell you, I am the worst, this will never work, I'm just an immigrant. Who am I to tell these people what I think? My opinion doesn't matter. These people don't care about me. They don't care what I have to say. That's the part of your brain that provides you with these beautiful thoughts. I'm being sarcastic. If you didn't know, I'm being sarcastic right now. They're not beautiful thoughts. These are the thoughts that cause us to have deep self-doubt, okay? Now, that part of the brain is very energized. It is the most energized part of your brain because it's all about survival, right? We're supposed to first survive in this reality, so that's the way evolution made us. That's the part of the brain that will be convincing you to stay with the job. That's not that fun. That doesn't pay that well, but it's familiar. That is the part of the brain that will be convincing you to stay with that husband who is emotionally abusive. Because who knows what life would be like without him. But listen, if you are a first-generation immigrant, you have already faced so much unknown. You have already proven to yourself that it can be done. You have faced it head on. You went against evolution and you won. You won. This is how true inner growth happens, my friends. By facing the uncomfortable no matter how unpleasant it is. And you have done it. You've done it over and over and over and over and again and again and again and again and again. Have you ever acknowledged the effort that it took? How strong you are? What a badass you are? 99% of my clients never have. Never thought about acknowledging the strength that they had to develop, right? We just don't do that. Why? Well, because our lower brain doesn't want us to know how amazing we are. Because if you knew how amazing you are, you could be taking some risks in life. You would be going after that better version of life. And the lower brain doesn't want you to. But you have already done so much of it. That's what I want to suggest, that we wake up your inner hero. If he or she has fallen asleep a little bit, I want to encourage you not to settle, but to keep on growing. Because that strength, that wisdom that you have gained is priceless. You have already proven to yourself that it can be done and that you're not gonna die, right? Because the lower brain is like, oh, dude, I think, this is the lower brain thinking, I think that if you go after the different job, you could be dying. If you move to that other state, you could be dying. If you walk away from this deeply unhappy marriage, you could die. That is the opinion that comes from the lower brain. This is what we're facing. This is what you have faced when you first came, but you didn't have a choice. You had to face it and you had to somehow survive, and you did. So you did it. You already did it. So now let's wake up your inner hero again. Let's nudge him or her a little bit. And here are the questions that I have for you. So first of all, what are 3 challenges that you are facing right now? What are the most difficult things in your life right now? Is it maybe the job that feels like a burden and it's not fun at all and you would love to change the job, but you feel stuck? Or maybe you feel really deeply unhappy in your marriage and you have no idea how to get out. Or maybe something's going on back in your country of origin with your family and you don't know how to help. You feel really hopeless. So that's what I want you to explore first. What are 3 challenges that you're facing right now? Now, the next question is this. If your inner hero was to address it, what would she or he do? Now remember, this is the part of you that already is super courageous, self-confident, wise, aware of many solutions. It knows what is within your control and what is not. So if that person with that knowledge, wisdom, and strength had to face that challenge, what would he or she do? Would she start looking into logistics of leaving your husband? Or would she apply for the job? Or maybe hop on a plane and see how you could support your family in person? Maybe the very first step would be to sit down at a table with a piece of paper and write down all possible solutions. Just brainstorm. So if your inner hero was to address the situation, what would she or he do? Right? You know the answer deep inside. You know it. Because your inner hero is inside there with all the answers. Now, you might have been avoiding even asking yourself this question because you were afraid. But you do know what that next step could be if you believe that you could do it. So often we don't see the whole path. We don't see how things will unfold, but we know the very first step. And that's all we need to know, is that very first step, because we create our life. Things unfold one step at a time. We're not supposed to know the whole thing. And remember, the fear is normal, and you already know how to handle fear, right? It's just your lower brain working extra hard, trying to keep you safe and comfortable, doing everything it can to prevent you from risking and growing and changing your life. And you already know that courage doesn't feel that great. Courage is basically a mix of fear and determination. It's not that great of a feeling. But you have proven to yourself in the past over and over and over how courageous you can be. And courage is a feeling. Feelings are created by thoughts. So it's thoughts like, I am afraid, but I will do it anyway. I don't know how to do it, but I know the first step. I will figure it out as I go. I'm willing to try. I am worth it. I'm worth trying. I'm gonna give myself this gift of trying and figuring it out. Listen, my dear friends, your inner hero wants to keep on working with you. It wants to keep on creating positive change in your life. And you have the answers. You've got the solutions. Just sit down, write it out. You will be surprised by how much you already know. And if you would like help with bringing your inner hero to life, contact me. I'm a life coach. I help immigrants understand their lives, understand their brains, and keep on creating that positive change so that their lives feel amazing. So you wake up and you're happy. You're smiling to yourself. You can't wait for that next day. You cannot wait because it's that much fun. That's possible for any of you. And I believe that us, the first generation immigrants, we especially deserve that because of what we have done, because the hero that had to be developed and woken up, and how much stress and what a big of a challenge that was at the time. But we did it. We did it. So that's why we deserve that dream. So if you want to help creating that dream, let me know. You can send me an email, coach@lifecoachforimmigrants.com. That's my email address. Or you can go to lifecoachforimmigrants.com and book a free consultation with me. During that consultation, you will tell me what's going on in your life and we'll see if I can help you. And if so, I would tell you how I would help you. I have a few openings for one-on-one clients, so if you want to work with me, contact me soon. All right, my dear, have a fantastic the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you next time.